All right, what's up? Today's video is all about helping you kind of be better at mouse and keyboard on Black Ops 6. I know this year it's super challenging. It was a little bit more, I think it was a little bit less challenging in Modern Warfare 3, but in Black Ops 6, it feels really difficult sometimes. So I figure might as well help out some people that are probably facing a lot of the same issues that I am, and some stuff that kind of has helped me. For reference, I'm sitting at 140 hours in the game. KD is pretty shit, to be honest, but camo grinding kind of fucked that up. And also playing solo is it's a disaster, honestly. It's really hard to, 0.6 win-loss is crazy. I've never had that in my life in a COD game, but hey, fuck it, right? Skill-based matchmaking. Just play with friends and you're good to go. But yeah, I'm not really going to touch too much on like skill-based matchmaking. Obviously, definitely something we all have to deal with, but it only amplifies a lot of the problems that mouse and keyboard already faces. So yeah, it's not great. So a couple of things before we start. Mouse and keyboard is just generally going to be a harder input. Aim assist is really strong in the newer COD games. In Black Ops 3, it wasn't the case. Like controller aim assist was not as strong, but nowadays it's very strong. So keep that in mind. If you want to play a game that is actually fair towards mouse and keyboard, I'd recommend CS2 or Valorant. But if you're just COD fan, you like COD, and you like playing on mouse and keyboard and you don't feel like buying a controller for one game like me, then hopefully this video can help you. So we can start with graphics. So let's just go there. Honestly, this is going to be super basic. I'm not really going to explain too much, but you're going to want to play on your highest refresh rate possible. I have 185. I just haven't overclocked my monitor. Sometimes it turns off. I don't know why. Whatever. It's fine. In here, I don't think there's anything to change, really. Pretty much follow this shit and it's gonna be fine. For resolution, always keep it at 100. I have dynamic resolution off. I don't remember what this does, but I've watched like a bunch of videos on the best settings and kind of adapted a bunch of it. Fidelity FX CAS at 70. That's going to be really, there's other stuff that you can choose, but as far as I can tell, this is the one that pretty much everyone recommends. Variable rate shading. I have it on. I don't remember exactly why, but whatever. It's fine. I followed a bunch of other people and most of them have it on. So yeah, everything is on low. I choose to have detail quality at high just because I like the game to look a little bit better and I don't mind losing like 10, 15 FPS because that's probably all it's going to do. But yeah, everything is on very low. You can have bullet impacts on or off, doesn't really matter. Definitely recommend this off. It's like a bunch of like explosion particles and all that stuff that already on PC you don't want to see, but hey, low is pretty much as good as we're gonna get. On-demand texture streaming, as far as I know, it doesn't really make any difference, so you can have it on minimal or optimized. It really doesn't matter. Local texture streaming, low, again, doesn't really matter. Everything is pretty much low or off except for my detail quality. If you have a good enough PC, I recommend that on high. Makes the game look a little bit better. And then I just want to check my notes for a few things. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna move on to FOV. FOV is a bit of a personal choice. I've tried a bunch of stuff. I was running 100, 105, 110, 20. I've tried pretty much everything. Honestly, the best ranges are gonna be from 100 to 110. Shroud runs 113. I'm not entirely sure why, but he does do that. I did run it for a while. I found enemies are a bit too small. My vision is already pretty bad, so that's kind of that. But yeah, ADS field of view is going to be on affected. I'm pretty sure all the pros use it. As far as I know, it just kind of like slows down your aim a little bit. And then if you have it on affected, ADS zooms to a value closer to the field of view settings, only applies to low magnification zoom. So it doesn't affect your sniper rifles or anything above a 3.5. So like a 4x scope would not be affected by affected. That's funny. Okay. Yeah. And then your field of view is going to be on affected. That's like the last thing, or it's going to be on wide. Sorry. Weapon field of view is going to be wide. And that's pretty much it. Now we're going to move to pretty much the most important part, I would say, of the video. So mouse sensitivity, honestly, it's pretty much up to you. I'm running 2.25 at 1600 DPI. I'm just trying it right now. I don't know. I switch senses a lot, so for me it doesn't really matter if this value doesn't really stay the same. I kind of go like day by day and see what feels good. So the sense ranges that I would recommend, if you're at 1600, anywhere between like 2 and 4 is going to be good. If you're on 800 DPI, anywhere from 4 to 8, so just half it or multiply it by 2. Pretty much, depending on the DPI that you're on. ADS sensitivity type, relative. You can try both, honestly. Relative is going to essentially slow down your aim as far as I know. Yeah, it's like something about the rotation. So relative is going to slow down your aim from when you're ADS to hipfire. And then Legacy is just going to be same settings on both. I've tried both. I think overall I prefer Relative, but honestly, both of them are going to be good. And depending on the kind of player that you are, you can try both and they're probably both going to work. Like I don't think it would make a giant difference. You can adapt to both. And then monitor coefficient only applies if you're using Relative. So right now I have it on 1.78, but you can run it at 0, 1.33, or 1.78. And 0 is going to be your slowest. 1.78 is going to be your highest. There's like a bunch of math for like how this works and stuff, but whatever. It's fine. Just try them out and see what works best. That's pretty much what I'm going to keep repeating throughout the video. But I think the biggest thing about like a mouse and keyboard is that there's no perfect settings. Everything is very personal and you have to really spend a lot of time just trying out different things and feeling out what feels right for you, just because everybody's going to have a different mouse, hand size, arm, like everything is different. So now we can move over to keybinds. Again, everything is going to be super personal. For this game, I've moved my slide to my C key. Normally I have it on one of my mouse buttons, but for this game I find that it's kind of important to be able to maneuver my mouse, and sometimes when I'm pressing that button it makes it a little bit harder. So I'm just trying it out. We'll see if I revert back, but so far it's been okay. I'm a little bit like I'm messing up my slides a little bit more, but it's just because I'm not used to using C to slide. But again, like pretty much everything when it comes to keybinds, you can just try it out. I pretty much wouldn't say that there's no wrong like keybind. As long as you're comfortable with it, everything is going to be fine. And don't be afraid to like experiment. Overall, yeah, you're going to suck for like a few games and you're going to feel a little bit out of whack, but the payoff is going to be pretty good if you find something better. Movement, tab, tactical, sprint assist on, and then apart from that, there's like not really that much that's worth changing. Make sure pretty much everything is on like toggle and sprint restore and like all this sort of stuff should pretty much be turned on. Grounded mantle, I believe that's when you like mantle, like jump mantle or something. Climb nearby obstacles while on the ground. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's like if you jump something, it'll mantle it. I'm honestly not sure if that's like good or bad. You could try both and see what happens. This one's a little bit more important. Sprint door bashing, because there's a lot of doors in this game. I don't fucking know why, but hey, they decided to keep those in. Auto door peek off. I believe this makes it so you can't like open and close the door manually. If you get close to it, it'll just open. So you would rather be able to decide whether you open it or close it. Fair enough. Most of the time, you're just going to run into it. So honestly, who cares pretty much. Aim down sight. This one's going to be pretty important. You can run toggle. It is possible. I did it at the start of the game and I'm pretty sure I did it in the beta for most of it. You can do it. The game is just really fast. It's kind of hard to toggle in and out of sights and not get caught off. So I recommend hold, but if you prefer toggle, then you can definitely go that route. And you'll get used to it. And honestly, there's not like a ton of settings. Yeah, like there's a ton of settings in this game and a lot of them like don't really matter that much, but a few of them do really matter. Like sprint assist definitely matters a lot, just because it's going to be a lot of pressure on your pinky to hold shift literally the entire time, because you're just running around like a crackhead in this game. I won't lie. So yeah. Oh, and then one last thing that I forgot, slide and dive. I would recommend it being on independent. I believe this is going to be in advanced movement setting. And then slide dive action independent. That's just so you don't accidentally dive when you want to like prone or slide or whatever the fuck. So that's going to help a lot. Yeah, that's pretty much it for movement. Honestly, this game has a lot of options. You can really go crazy with it, but there's not too much that matters, or there's not that many that will actually impact your overall gameplay. Gameplay HUD, I think this is a pretty big one. So where do you go for this? Dude, there's so many. Okay, interface, gameplay HUD. So what I'm running right now is target tracker. I like a lot. You'll probably see it in the background of the gameplay when I'm not like showing off settings, but basically it puts your HUD here. This shows like a radar, but you can put it to like a square minimap, radar off, and that's fine. That's how I run it. So to like change it from round to square here, and then radar off. And then I know I changed the size of it to, I'm not sure, trying to find like where you do that. Maybe readability? No. Global? What? Some of these settings are just an absolute nightmare to try and find, to be honest. So there is a search function. So if you go here, you can just type whatever setting you're looking for and it'll a lot of the time just be a lot faster. I run the map scale at like 100 or between 90 and 100, depends. You could have the compass type mini. Okay, yeah, I would actually run minimap because I don't like the compass at the bottom of my screen, because when you run it at like 100, it kind of makes it seem like people are on the minimap that aren't. So yeah, it can kind of mess with you a little bit if you're just checking it super quickly and not paying too much attention. And then crosshair, this is cool because you can change the color and all that, and you can put it bigger or smaller. I just run it default, and then I have like static crosshair. Nothing super crazy or fancy here, but I'm running blue cyan. That's pretty much what I do in Val. I have blue cyan or like yellow. Could actually run yellow because my enemies right now are pink. So that's kind of that. And then for like readability, you can change all the colors for enemies, friendlies, party, all that sort of stuff. Been running pink. I'm not sure why. I think, oh yeah, it's because Skyline map where there's like a ton of reds if you're looking at B flag, and the enemies name tags would blend with the sunset on the map, which is stupid and really annoying. So yeah, just keep that in mind. That's why I'm running like pink. Honestly, you can run any of the colors and it's probably fine. I just wouldn't recommend pretty much from these colors just because they kind of blend with some of the maps with the weird like hues that they go with, like the sunsets and everything. I don't know, whatever. Weird design choice because it just makes the game weird to like look at and interface with, but yeah, that's fine. And then lastly, we're gonna have for like setting stuff, we're gonna have like audio. Honestly, I've watched like a few videos on audio. Footsteps were really audible at the start of the game. They're way less audible now, and honestly, you probably won't hear anybody until they're like literally on you. And so at this point, like unless you're gonna sound EQ, which I honestly wouldn't recommend because that's just ratty and like weird. So you just don't need to do that. You can just try and hear them, and if you don't, you don't. If you do, you do. But I just run Treyarch mix. I've tried pretty much all the options. Sucker Punch was quite good, but I don't know. They say it's like the highest dynamic range, so technically Footsteps should be more audible, because if you bring the dynamic range up, then you're bringing the quieter sounds louder and the louder sounds quieter, so whatever. But Treyarch, Sucker Punch, headphones, bass boost if you like more bass. Don't think it'll necessarily help you with Footsteps, but hey, if it's a better audio experience, then you might enjoy the game more, which might make you play better. So yeah, but yeah, like I said, I really don't hear many footsteps. Even when I was playing a little bit earlier today, I had someone like running pretty much like behind me, and I didn't hear him until he was like maybe 3 feet away. And I was like, okay, I cannot react to this, so whatever, it's fine. And then this is like a setting that I turned off because I was just getting annoyed. I would just recommend turning off kill cams, especially if you're on like mouse and keyboard. You don't really need to see how easy it is for controller players to get kills on you. It's really frustrating. It's fucking annoying. I'm not saying that there is zero skill to controller, but honestly, there's a lot less skill than there used to be way back in the day. I know the game's different. I know everything's different, but still, it's kind of frustrating to know or to get reminded over and over that you're just playing an input that is just not designed for the game. But if you prefer mouse and keyboard and you would rather keep improving on that input versus picking it up for one game and never touching a controller again, then yeah, I'd really recommend turning off this setting because, like, dude, you don't need to, or turning on this setting because you don't need to see your kill cams over and over. Might be useful in S&D, but honestly, you can just turn it on just quickly in the settings before you play your ranked S&D, and that's kind of that. And then some general like gameplay advice for mouse and keyboard. So I've been playing a ton, obviously, but I've also been watching a lot of Shroud and like other people play mouse and keyboard. Honestly, mostly Shroud, a little bit of other gameplays. Biggest thing to understand is like, honestly, you're playing at a disadvantage, and that's kind of that. COD doesn't care about mouse and keyboard, and they probably never will. It's kind of unfortunate, but the game is really not designed favorably towards mouse and keyboard. So if you're going into this thinking, I want a fair experience, don't fucking play this game. Just don't play this game. But if you just want to have fun and you want to use this kind of like as an aim trainer and just get better at like tracking and stuff like that, that's pretty much how I view it. It's just a crack cocaine party where I get to kind of aim train a little bit, and that's pretty much it. If you want to play ranked, you can on mouse and keyboard. Apparently later on in the seasons, there's more and more cheaters on PC, but this year everybody's going to be facing them because they deactivated everyone's ability to turn off crossplay. I don't know if they're going to change their mind on that, but that's what it is right now. So everybody's going to be facing the same shit. You can't just buy PS4 anymore and then just not have cheaters or have less cheaters. I'm sure there are cheaters on PS4, but yeah, just you're playing at a disadvantage. And if you can just appreciate that what you're doing is kind of hard and it's overall fun to improve, I find it way more fun to improve on mouse and keyboard than knowing that my controller is doing potentially half or even more of my aiming for me. I just don't find that particularly rewarding. So yeah, and hey, if anyone's like really mad that I'm talking shit about controller, I mean, even the pros say that the aim assist is too strong and they're professional controller players. So I don't know. Don't fucking shoot me. Shoot Activision or whatever the fuck you want. I don't know. And then watching Shroud, one thing that I noticed a lot is that he's kind of ADSing a lot, like ADS walking a lot. It depends, but he will try and be as ready for the fight as often as possible and get the first shot as accurately as possible. That's usually going to be a big thing that he does. He also uses 2-time scopes. He did use the 4 times and 3 times to like test them out, but he does not use red dot sights. He says that the recoil is too much, and I would pretty much agree because I've pretty much switched to fully using magnified scopes. I have to do testing on SMGs because I don't think Shroud touches SMGs, so I'm gonna have to do my own testing on that, and I'll try and make a video about it. But for now, for ARs, 2-time scope is probably gonna be your best bet. I can show you which one I use and then the reticle that I like to use also. So if we go to like my Model L class, the Jason Armory 2X, and then you can customize it. You're gonna have to unlock these by using the scope, but it's not that hard. You just get kills with it, and that's kind of that. And then you can also unlock different ones through zombies. I use the pink zombies one, even though my enemy color is pink. I don't know, it doesn't seem to bother me that much. I don't feel like I play worse on it, so that's sort of fine. And then one big thing is don't aim for headshots. I think it doesn't really matter for most guns. I think maybe on the Model L it does, unless they change that. But yeah, Model L is like pretty much one of the only guns where it's going to matter. And then the Goblin is still a 2-shot kill. So 2-shot headshot. So I mean, kind of matters there. JPR doesn't matter. Aims doesn't matter. AK does kind of matter, but it's a 4-shot body shot anyways. So I just say shoot for bodies. Who cares? And then Krieg doesn't matter either. It's going to be a 4-shot headshot. Going to be a 4-shot kill anyways, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, headshots are pretty worthless in this game. I know it sucks for us mouse and keyboard players because it is kind of easier to aim for the... Well, I would even say that even on controller, it's easier because the aim assist is very sticky. So if you're already sticking on someone and all you have to do is just aim up a little bit, it's not that hard. So, but hey, maybe I'm wrong. I don't fucking play controller. But don't aim for the head. It's pretty useless. And then I'm going to go over like a few attachments that I found are like pretty helpful on ARs at least. So I already talked about the Jason Armory 2. That one's been very helpful. And then you can either run the compensator or the ported compensator. Gonna help your first shot accuracy, which really matters on PC. And then you can go with the precision foregrip or the regular foregrip. I like the precision one. I could honestly probably run this because I have another attachment that deals with idle sway, but we'll get to that. Mag attachments, I mean, you can run whatever the hell you want, whatever's best for your class. If you want a little bit more aim down sight speed, you can run flip mags or fast mags and all this sort of stuff. Like, and then barrels, as far as I can tell, I watch a lot of Exclusive Aces videos, and he's basically saying they're pretty worthless on most of the maps. So I don't really run barrels right now. Maybe that'll change later. Maybe they will sort of fix that, so barrels are not useless. But yeah, and then for grips, you can go with quick draw, ergo, or I believe this one, the aim down sight and sprint to fire. Those are the 3 I would recommend depending on what you want. It's going to be your fastest aim down sight speed. Aim down sight speed is going to be really good for mouse and keyboard just because you need to be accurate, because you're going to get beamed by these controller SMGs that are just running at you. So good luck. And then for stocks, I would recommend either combat stock or the balance stock. Pretty much can run infiltrator. There's a lot of good stocks depending on what your specific playstyle is. If you're more aggressive with an AR, then you can run like the lighter stocks, and that'll help you a little bit. And then I do recommend running the target laser, so it does make your laser visible, but I believe it's green. It's not super easy to see, so I don't think it really affects you that much in game, but it just reduces idle sway and all this sort of stuff, like aim walking steadiness, all this stupid bullshit that they added for no reason that really just doesn't help you on mouse and keyboard at all. You get rid of a lot of that, and yeah, because it's stupid that we have to waste an attachment on it. Yeah, but at least the barrels don't even make a difference that much, so because you don't really run into ranges where they would super come in to use, so whatever. And then I would recommend rapid fire on like pretty much most of the guns, I think, to deal with how strong the aim assist is. If you can like beam people down pretty quickly, that's gonna help a lot. There is a lot of like negatives for it, but I mean, it is what it is. It's fine. I'm just seeing now like bullet velocity. If you really wanted, you could run like gain twist barrel and take off one of these, so you could go like no mag and then run the gain twist, and then all that bullet velocity you lost, you actually, or if you wanted to go like reinforce, you could also do that. Yeah, like this pretty much negates all the cons of this except for the vertical recoil, but you're already addressing that with either a vertical foregrip, ported compensator, or just compensator. It's really up to you. Honestly, I think with classes, it's going to be trial and error. I've just tried a lot of different attachments. I was running suppressors, compensators, I was trying muzzle brakes. Like I've pretty much tried all of them. As far as I can tell, this is what feels the best. And I also looked at what Shroud was using to kind of come to a consensus. I would recommend on perma unlocking Gunfighter 2 if you haven't done that. I'd use it on pretty much every class. You don't really get to use Ghost. I mean, at least if you're playing objective game modes. But I mean, if you're not running a suppressor, then Ghost is pretty useless. So it doesn't really matter because they're going to know where you are when you're shooting. I guess it's useful for UAVs. I don't know. You can weigh the pros and cons. If you want to run Flak or Ghost, up to you. I choose most often to run Flak just because I play mostly objective game modes, but just a fair warning, if you're playing solo and you want to win objective game modes, you won't. Most often you're just going to lose, and that's not necessarily your fault. I mean, it could be sometimes for sure, but you know, skill-based matchmaking unfortunately doesn't favor solo players. They queue them against parties and there's really no distinction, and sometimes you're just gonna get fucked and it's absolutely not your fault. That's something to keep in mind. Another thing that this game is really useful for is theater mode. Theater mode is really good if you just want to go back and review some of your games. You can view some of your good games and then compare them to your bad games and just see sort of what you're doing wrong. Again, I don't really think you should go at it like super hard for this game. I personally just kind of look at aim flicking, like how I'm performing aim wise, and I don't really care about whether I'm winning or losing or whatever, because I'm not trying to play this game super heavy competitively. I don't think it's fair to play like competitively. If I want to play something super heavy competitive and get super invested, I'm just gonna go back to Valve for a little bit. Again, I just view this game as like a giant fun aim trainer, and I don't take it that seriously, but I do think it's still very fun to play. And then yeah, I just kind of mentioned like, dude, it would be fucking amazing if I could have theater mode in Val, but somehow we still don't have it 4 years into the game. So, you know, COD community has it bad, but hey, it's not perfect outside of it either. We all have our issues with the games that we really love, so just keep that in mind. Also recommend viewing a lot of mouse and keyboard creators. I think that you're gonna get a little bit frustrated watching controller players because, I mean, especially controller pros, just because obviously they are pros, but they're also getting to abuse something that you just don't get to abuse. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. It's gonna feel a little bit bad, but you know what? It's fine. It's not like that big of a deal. But I do recommend watching Shroud. He has like a bunch of re-uploads of his stream on YouTube, and that's what I've been watching a lot. And also he will kind of validate a lot of the struggles that you're having, which kind of feels nice, because it's nice to hear that you're not crazy, that everybody who is playing on mouse and keyboard is dealing with these things, even if they're not explicitly saying it. But he's pretty open about it. And yeah, there is just overall a lot of issues running mouse and keyboard on COD, and they're not going to be fixed. They don't care, and no one cares. I'm gonna be honest, just play this game for fun and use it as an aim training tool, and that's pretty much it. Like I would never try and go competitive on mouse and keyboard in this game, even in Warzone. I just don't. You don't want to play a game that's just not balanced for your input, even remotely. It's a bad idea. Lastly, I mean, if you're committing to mouse and keyboard for BO6 or pretty much any game, I have a ton of respect for you. I think that it's a really difficult input to learn, but the skill ceiling is incredibly high. And honestly, it's super fun to improve over time and just get better. I started really heavily playing mouse and keyboard probably about a year into Val being like officially released. And since then, I just haven't really looked back, and I don't think I'll ever touch a controller again, just because I just love mouse and keyboard. I think it's way too fun not to use it all the time for pretty much every game. I even played Elden Ring on mouse and keyboard. It's a bit cancer, but whatever. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Oh shit. Why the fuck did I put lastly if I have like 3 more points after I'm actually lost? Jesus. But yeah, keep in mind, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. I know that my game numbers would imply that I'm sprinting. I was mostly sprinting for camos, so it's not like I was waking up every day and popping Adderall and just like trying to go for fucking nukes or whatever. No, I was just doing camos, and a lot of that playtime is just trying to get camos. Honestly, I'm like just starting to play the game a little bit more normally now. So my stats are starting to kind of get more normal overall. But I mean, they're still not incredible, and I wouldn't really feel bad about that. Skill-based matchmaking is just going to make your stats well, a lot worse than they would have been in the older CODs. And like, stats don't really matter. I mean, it's a for fun game. Like, I don't think anybody takes anything about COD seriously unless you're playing on controller and you're playing ranked and you're trying to go pro in the CWL or whatever it's called, CDL. And then as much as you can, just keep all the random bullshit that you're gonna face in this game out of your mind. There's a lot of weird things that do not favor mouse and keyboard players, a lot of visual shit, clutter and nonsense, explosion, blood, a lot of shit that just makes it so you cannot see your screen and shoot enemies. And as a mouse and keyboard player, that's really stupid and it's very annoying because I mean you're using your arm to aim. You don't have AI to help you aim. So obviously, in a perfect world, we wouldn't have to deal with that, but that's the cards that we're dealt, and that's what we have to deal with if we choose to play this game. But again, if you want a better mouse and keyboard experience, Valorant, CS, tons of other FPSs are going to give you that. But if you really like COD, then hey, you can play BO6 and it's going to be fun. Just keep that shit out of your mind as much as you can. For sure, it's going to happen in game. You're going to be like, what the fuck is this? Like, there's tons of times during a session where I'm just like, how am I supposed to deal with this? I think one of the biggest things is I don't think aim assist should work if you're jumping. Like, I just don't think you should have aim assist if you're jumping because it's incredibly difficult to track jumping enemies on mouse and keyboard, especially coming from games like Valorant. There's going to be more videos on mouse and keyboard. I'm sort of noticing that there's not a whole lot of content on mouse and keyboard for Black Ops 6, so I'm going to try and fill that void. I'm super passionate about the input. I think it's a very fun input to learn, and I am not the best mouse and keyboard player. I will never fucking say that I am, so long as Shroud exists, but as soon as he dies, I will be the best, so don't worry about that. We're gonna get there. Just gotta wait for Shroud to kick the bucket, and hopefully we're not 72, but it's fine. But yeah, enough of me yapping or whatever. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope this is helpful. I'm gonna try and, keep you guys up to date throughout the year. I don't know how long I'm gonna play this game because I usually hop from game to game. Val is pretty much the only game that I've played consistently for the last three and a half years. But hey, if I can last like 3, 4, 5, 6 months on this game, that'd be pretty cool. But it just depends like if they have content and if the ranked mode is actually fun. I'm not gonna go for anything like crazy. I don't think I'd ever go for Iridescent just because what's the point of going for Iridescent on a game that just doesn't care about mouse and keyboard? Yeah, even if I get that chip on my shoulder, it's like, okay, well, I beat all the odds and whatever, but I'd just rather get fucking Immortal or Radiant on Valorant and spend my time doing that. But hey, if you solo queue or even party queue, hit Iridescent on mouse and keyboard, you have huge respect for me because that shit is hard. And just even playing pub matches, sometimes I'm getting absolutely fucking shit on by controllers and I get fucking annoyed, but it's fine. But yeah, hopefully I don't sound like super mad about controllers. If that's the input that you prefer and that's what you want to play and you don't really play PC games, then it's totally understandable that you would want to play on controller. But yeah, I'm more so like mad at how Call of Duty handles the fairness of mouse and keyboard versus controller. It's not really the fault of the players who choose to use that input. To be honest, probably smarter to use controller, but I mean, it doesn't make sense for me to have a controller for one game and then never use it again. So yeah, but yeah, I might make a video on how I would make controllers more fair or the game a little bit more fair towards mouse and keyboard, because if Call of Duty is going to keep selling this game on like Game Pass and things that you can access through PC, then it would probably be a good idea to at least make it fair to the input that they're selling it to. But hey, they're probably never going to listen and not give a fuck. They're going to laugh their way to the bank like they have been for so many years, and you know what, fair enough. Can't really argue with that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will be back with some more content. I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do next, but if you have any like questions or comments or whatever the fuck it is, leave it down below and I'm gonna try and get to answering as many questions as I can. And then if something is better left for a video, I'm just gonna take note of it and write it in the comment. Then I will make a separate video about it. And that's pretty much that. I hope you enjoy and have a good day and don't tilt too hard bashing your head against the keyboard trying to beat controller players. Good luck. Bye.